this may be starting to change. Heated debates between developed and developing nations over a green trade initiative. The United States and the European Union proposed for fewer tariffs and trade barriers on environmentally friendly goods and services. But at a trade ministers meeting in Bali over the weekend, Pakistan and Brazil voiced their reservations. They suspect the measure's real intention is to boost exports from rich countries. Brazil has protested the exclusion of ethanol, one of its main exports and a product being touted as a key biofuel, from the list. This is what Australia's trade minister had to say about the differences in opinion.
These are issues that need to be thought through. The list, after all, was compiled by the World Bank. Why didn't the World Bank include ethanol? I think that's a good question. Let's have a look at that. But rather than, and of course the list was only put forward a week before the meeting. It was never intended that the meeting over the last 2 days would finalise it or commit to it. We've said it deserves serious consideration, and it will be given serious consideration.
Simon Crean, Australia's trade minister. And earlier I spoke with Reza Ali of ACCA Singapore, and he is an environmental specialist, and he says the timing is crucial for developed and developing countries to agree on climate change issues.
I think what is important now in this climate change summit is that developing and developed countries must come and find consensus and meet common ground, because the effects of climate change are irreversible. And if they do not come upon agreement now, for each year we delay, it's going to necessitate a further reduction in greenhouse emission gas emission reductions, and it's going to cause even more economic and social disruptions.
And finding a common ground in climate change is far more important than finding common ground in trade and services.
Absolutely, because if you do not find common ground in trade and services, you still have tomorrow. But if you don't find common ground in greenhouse emissions and climate change, then tomorrow will be a very difficult tomorrow.
What do you make of this proposal of the United States and the European Union for fewer tariffs and bringing down trade barriers on environmentally friendly goods? Do you agree to this?
What is important is, at this point, at this juncture, United States and the EU are claiming and asking for a reduction in the tariffs. And by reducing the tariffs, it means greater transfer of technology to curb greenhouse emission gases. And this is something that China, Nobel Prize laureate Rajendra Pachauri have been advocating. They want transfer in technology to curb greenhouse emission gases.
And is it good or is it bad?
It is a good thing, definitely. But there also fears that this could be a protectionist measure by the developed countries to improve their exports to developing nations.
So how do they find common ground here? Because Pakistan and Brazil are against this proposal by the US and the EU.
I think there are a lot of concerns that US and EU will use this as a tool, as a protectionist tool to improve their own export. But I think the United States have stated that out of the 26 or 36 items on the list for trade for the tariff reduction, most of these items are imported by the United States, and the United States are net exporters of these items.
So what would be the common ground here when both sides are on loggerheads?
I think you need more extensive negotiation, and I think the details have to be clarified and refined. And I think they also have to include other items which developing countries produce, like ethanol by Brazil, to be included in the list of products that are exported and include them for the tariff reduction.
Ali Reza of ACCA Singapore, and an environmental specialist. This week, India's capital of Delhi plays host to a summit of entrepreneurs. The meeting will discuss how best